Hello everyone, my name is Jenna. Welcome back to the Holistic Homemaker channel. In this space, we make things, we knit things, we sew things, we talk mom things, all sorts of wonderful things that are made from scratch. So if you like any of those things, please subscribe, like this video, maybe hit the bell, follow along on this little journey of creation. Today's video is very exciting. Actually, it'll be a couple of days long, but I'm starting today, obviously. It's exciting because I have one gift knit left that is about 80% done, and it will be done this week. And I am so thrilled. I'm hoping to have it done by tomorrow. And with that, I'm gonna update you guys on the lavender lane just real quick. So you guys have been, throughout these last couple of videos with gift knits, I've been talking about the lavender lane socks. They are done. They will not be gifted because I was so rushed with it. They are horrific. I'm like embarrassed to give them to someone. So especially my mom, I'm not going to give them to my mom. I already told her, and I ended up making something else for her because it's just, they turned out so bad. I don't know what happened. I know my first needles were made with the Brittany needles and they were wooden, so the weight was a little bit different, and so the tension was a little bit different. And then when those snapped and I had to go get new needles, and there was all this drama with the needles, I had to restart the second sock with carbon needles, which again, the weight is different, so the tension was different. And with the exact same amount of stitches done in each sock, somehow there's about an inch difference in the leg length. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to explain that to you. I'm not even going to show you because it was so horrifying. Oh, my baby's awake. Okay, we're back. So I don't even remember where I was. That was a little while ago. The lavender lane sock ended up being ugly. I'm going to remake it with the same needles instead of two different needles, and I am going to remake them. My mom really wants them for her birthday, which is in May, which gives me enough time to truly take my time and not end up with the same disaster I ended up with this time. When I blocked it, I was like, maybe it won't be as weird when I block it. Blocking it made it worse. Like so much worse. I ended up with these horrific like ladders between so many stitches, and it was just like a scattered mess. And you could see the design in it, and the design turned out really beautiful, but it was just something happened in that recipe that did not transform in my hands. So I'm going to redo that later on, and I'm really excited to redo it because I actually really enjoyed the pattern. It wasn't challenging, but like the heel was challenging, so there was little pieces that were really not difficult, but they were like, you had to think about what you were doing, you know? So that was really exciting. In January, I will be taking another sock class with one of the local knitting shops. This one will be about an hour away, and it's a cute little sock. The heel has a heart in it. It's a striped sock, so nothing too crazy, but it'll just be nice to be in a knitting community because I haven't done that I keep checking the monitor because he just keeps waking up. I haven't been to a knitting class in over a year, and the last one I went to, I was only able to go to one of the 3 classes. So I'm not even gonna count that. Let's just say I haven't done a knitting community thing in like 2 years. So really excited to be doing that. So that's the knitting portion of this. I will show you all what I ended up making instead. I did end up making 3 cloud slippers, which I showed you all in a past video. So if you didn't see that, I can show a little clip, or I can just show you what I made. But I ended up doing a cloud slipper for my older brother Logan. I ended up doing a cloud slipper for my oldest, well, he's my only nephew. Yeah, I only have one nephew. He also is the oldest oldest of my niece and nephews. I made him a pair of I keep calling them clown slippers because homie has some huge feet, okay? I had to make the largest size for the slipper, and his favorite color is red, and they just look like Ronald McDonald shoes. They are like wicked clown feet. He's in that awkward stage of like starting puberty, so he's like huge feet and getting really tall, and he's just like proportionally all over the place, and it's just so cute and so crazy and weird and like all these things. So I made these gigantic slippers for him. They are not clown slippers, they are cloud slippers. And then I ended up making my mom a really pretty sparkly cloud slipper because I am crunched for time. So I am finishing the scarf for my younger brother today. Well, this week. I have this much yarn left, which is like nothing. It's practically see-through. So this is where I'm at. And I'm just gonna finish the yarn. I asked Cameron the other night, I was like, am I done? And he's like, yeah, I think that's long enough. I said, well, come here, let me put it on you. It was not done. So I gotta finish the skein, and I don't think it will take me very long to do. So that is what we are making today. And then what we are baking today is something I've been wanting to make for such a long time. So those of you who are, oh, I have a tickle in my nose. The yarn just got me all tickly. Those of you that are autoimmunely challenged like myself, I have hashimotos, so I am gluten-free, dairy-free. I also found out I have a poultry allergy. I am caffeine-free, which I'll talk about in the next video. I am 100% caffeine-free. And then, what else am I? I think that's it. So I have to be very careful in the recipes that I choose, which is why a lot of my stuff has turned more gluten-free, more dairy-free. Well, it's always kind of been more dairy-free, but more heavy on the gluten-free side lately. That's the reason why I have Hashimoto's. So that is an inflammatory thing, gluten. So I have found Amy Meyers. She's written quite a few books on autoimmune diseases and disorders, and she's been a huge beacon of knowledge for me. And she has a cookbook called The Autoimmune Solution. And visually, now I love reading cookbooks. Visually, it's not the best because she doesn't have very many pictures. And so, especially with gluten-free and like dairy-free, you know, boring food. It's not boring food, but you know, food that doesn't like rise. So mean, but I love gluten. Food that doesn't rise, you just need the pictures to see what you're making, and there's not very many pictures for the amount of recipes. There's a ton of recipes in here though. Anyways, today we are making sweet potato biscuits. Here is the inspiration. I do have a photo for this one, so we're making these. And they've been on my list of things to make for a while, but I just kept forgetting to buy coconut flour. So yeah, we're gonna have some yummy biscuits for lunch today, and we are also going to be finishing the scarf. So if y'all are interested, keep watching. I will put timestamps. I recently did a poll on the channel, and if you're interested in doing the poll, please feel free to vote, because I am trying to sort of reconstruct how I recipe-ize my videos. I did a poll wondering, why are you here? Are you here to see knits and sews? Are you here to see baked goods and mom stuff? Or what are you here for? Right now I'm at 50-50 on the poll. So if we can sway it one way or another, that will help me make a decision on how I do videos forward. So yeah, go to the poll, take a vote. How did you find me? What are you interested in seeing? I know this channel has transformed a lot over the last couple of years, but I'm really excited in the place that it's at, and I want to know what brought you here. So if you don't mind, please go to that poll, vote, and while you're there, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. So let's get baking. To start these delicious sweet potato biscuits, you are going to fork the crap out of some sweet potatoes. You're going to preheat your oven to 425. Poke your sweet potatoes. I'm using 2. I'm not gonna lie, the recipe, these are pretty big. They call for 1 to 2. I did 2. I probably should have only done about 1.5. Learning for next time. And then you're gonna have a blend of 1/4 cup cassava flour, 1/2 cup of arrowroot, and 1/4 cup of coconut flour, 1/2 cup of full fat coconut milk, and then that is 1/3 cup of palm shortening. You're also gonna do a tablespoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of sea salt. Once your sweet potatoes are done, you're baking them until they're tender. I don't have a potato masher, so don't make fun of my technique, okay? They weren't the smoothest of potatoes, but you're just gonna mash them up to the smoothest of your ability. I am adding in my flour and baking powder. Ooh, important, baking powder concoction, and my milk and my palm shortening. It doesn't say to have the potatoes cool down or anything in the recipe, so I'm doing it really, really hot. I'm sure it wouldn't make that much of a difference, but you're just gonna work the dough, incorporate everything in. Again, these are gluten-free, so they're not going to rise. So you're really just mixing everything until it's incorporated. You're not working any gluten like you typically would with a biscuit. And next, you're just gonna start rolling them into balls. This recipe yields 12 biscuits. I did get 12 biscuits out of it, which is super exciting. And these were pretty decent sized biscuits. This dough was so fluffy and just delicious to hold. You know, there's like some doughs where you're like, ugh, so sticky. This was like marshmallowy. It felt so good in my hands. So I did one big tray and then a different tray. So after you roll them out, you're going to then smoosh them just a little bit into a tiny patty. You're doing this to kind of give it that biscuity shape. I ran out of space, so I'm just kind of playing Tetris with my biscuits. And then you're gonna pop them in the oven for about 15 minutes. Now, every thing that I had, they turned out so good. I did brown them a little bit. They did need to take a little bit longer in the oven. I had to do mine for about 25 minutes, so I would say eyeball it for sure, especially with how pale gluten-free things come out as. They just need that extra toasting time, I feel. Jack wanted a little goat cheese sandwich, so he's got his little biscuit and his little goat cheese in between. I was so excited about these because, like I've always said, bread is just so hard. But I'm making myself a little sandwich too. I've got some goat cheese, some nice roast beef, and then I'm going to add a little bit of just some romaine on it. Nothing crazy, because I really wanted to be able to taste the biscuit, and they were so flavorful. It was wild. For how thin they are, you wouldn't expect them, but they're like the perfect little biscuit sandwich. So good. Look how cute that is. I'm literally going to devour it for you because it was just so good. Editing this was hilarious because it's me talking to Jack and seeing how animated I am talking to him. This was also a weird moment of like, wow, you're a freaking mom. Like, you know, obviously I know I'm a mom every day, but this was like such a funny conversation to listen to for me while he's eating his little sandwich, telling me how delicious it is. He tore his up. His was gone, mine was gone so quick. So these biscuits, 10 out of 10. I would say let them cool all the way before you cut into them. And also, I wouldn't put them in a baggie right away either. I would maybe leave them out on a plate. I put mine in a baggie, they got a little soft. So just so you know, 10 out of 10 though. This recipe was amazing, will be a staple. All right, friends, we are in the final gift knit. This is so exciting. Even watching this, having completed them now, it's still a huge accomplishment and very exciting to get done. So I got very cozy and we put on Invincible. I don't know if you guys are watching that. It's a little violent, but it's very good and emotional. So we put on some Invincible and I just knit my little heart away. I was able to actually, I think this night, I was able to get about 10 rows done before we were calling it quits for the evening. But I'm kind of sad that they're over almost. It's like now I just get to work on regular projects with no goal. What does that even mean anymore? I've been doing this for so many months now. But I have really enjoyed the process, and this scarf was really fun to make. I did like the pattern. I did an odd number of stitches, just to whatever width I thought was appropriate. and it was a knit 2, purl 2, knit 1. So it ended up being really, really cushy and squishy and stretchy because you had that odd number throwing off the pattern with every other row. It was really fun to make. It was nice and very meditative, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't look up a pattern for it at all. I said in another video, you know, I just cast it on and started going, and I liked the outcome. So this is day 2 of me realizing that my yarn is almost gone. And looking at this footage, I'm like, oh my gosh, my craft room is a disaster zone. There is just yarn literally everywhere. I've got random scarves and skeins and sewing patterns everywhere. Just excited to get these projects going into the new year as well. So I'm now in prep mode for future projects. During this particular nap time, I was just flying through it. I knew I was so close, and yeah, the only thing that made me sad, I'll say it a million times, is that I wasn't able to knit anything for Jack or Cameron, and I don't have enough time to make them anything now. So they're just getting gifts this year, which I know nobody's gonna complain about that. But coming into the new year, they will be getting some sweaters, which I'm really excited to knit up and show you all the process of that. This is the final cast off, guys, the final stitch. So satisfying. Pop that baby over. We are done. I'm just kidding, we're not done. We 100% still need to weave in ends, which took only like 15 minutes to do. But it's just so satisfying. Guess casting up the needles is just such a good rush. I wanted to like clap and scream and cry a little bit, but Jack's been sleeping poorly and he was next door. So now I grab my needle and some scissors, and I tell you what, I am not somebody that likes to weave in the ends immediately after a project, because it's just, you just got them off the needles, you know? But there is something about it, just getting the whole thing done in one sitting, that maybe I'll try to really work towards next year. Weaving in the ends used to be super intimidating to me, but then when I did the Stephen West sock earlier this year, the contrast blast, he just said weave them in through the purl bumps, and I was like, oh well, duh, that makes the most sense out of anything anybody's ever told me as far as weaving in the ends. It makes it a little less intimidating and honestly makes the process so much faster. And I figured while I was weaving in ends, I might as well just weave in the ends of this panel. This sweater panel will be the next thing that I cast on the needles, because I want to get all of my whips done. And this whip has been sitting here for a minute, so I want to be able to wear it while it's cold here, since we don't get that many cold months. So I was like, oh, might as well save myself, 20 minutes in January. Weaving in mohair, probably just double strand period, is a pain in the butt, but like mohair, absolutely pain in the butt. I don't know if I'm going to be a mohair person. I don't think I have the patience for it. If the sweater turns out cute, we'll see. It's done. Here is the final scarf. I love it. It's actually very, very cozy. It is wool, so I'm pretty proud of how it came out. I think that my younger brother will really like it and hopefully get some use out of it in these cold months. My brain's overwhelmed here, but this is the scarf I made for my dad. This is a bamboo yarn. It is so soft, guys. I cannot even explain to you how soft this yarn is. This is the cloud slipper I made for my nephew that I said looked like a Ronald McDonald shoe. In person, it's hilariously large. I'm not kidding, it's big. It's big, but it turned out so cute, and he's gonna look so handsome on Christmas Eve. This is the sparkly number that I made for my mom. Just a cream with little gold sparkles. And I made the same cloud slipper for my older brother Logan. His favorite colors are blue and orange, and lucky enough, I found a Thick and Quick that's blue and orange. This is the beanie for my niece Alexis. Purple's her color, so she got some stripes this year. And then these are for Samantha, Logan's wife. She got the socks of the year, guys. They are so soft and so cozy. I'm so proud of those socks. Those are the gift knits for my family, guys. They're done. So this was my board, my tracker, and I'm finally putting my younger brother on there. Counted it up. 18 gift knits, guys. 18. I could actually cry. I'm so excited to be done with these gift knits. Oh my gosh. Oh, almost dropped it. Okay, so I counted up how many I was able to get done for all of Cameron's family, which his family is much larger than mine. So with his family and my family, I ended up getting 18 gifts done. This is beanies, this is scarves, this is slippers, this is socks. 18. So I'm awesome. I don't know. I'm so excited that they are done and they are wrapped. And like I said in the other video, all of the Florida gifts are gone, so I think that's like 10 or 11 gifts have been given to their recipient. So all of the other gifts I will obviously be giving to my family on Christmas Eve, and I'm just so excited to have everybody wearing some nice cozy knits this year. It was a challenge, mainly because I decided to do the test knit of that not quite cable knit skirt in the midst of the gift knits, and that took 6 weeks out of gift knits. So next year I won't do that, and next year I might do just smaller gifts instead of these much larger time-consuming gifts. Just do cute crafts instead of full projects. So either way, I accomplished the task. It is done, and I'm so excited. So thank you all so much for joining me on this gift knit journey this Christmas season. I'm thrilled to have everybody be a part of it. And if you did gift knits, let me know how it was for you and if you made it. We're really cracking down to the wire. I think there's 3 days. When this is posted, there'll be 3 days left till Christmas. So if you're doing gift knits, I truly hope that you make it this year, especially if you're doing as many as I was doing. I was also doing Etsy sales in the midst of that too. So there was so much knitting happening from September to now, and I'm not going to lie, my hands are tired. Every day I've been waking up with just swollen hands. I've got bruised fingertips, and I am ready to take a little bit of a break and dive into some sewing. So I'm hoping this week I'll be able to get a pattern printed to start the Darcy pant. And if you've never seen that before, this is what this looks like. I have this beautiful, I'm making it out of a tablecloth. I've just been envisioning this tablecloth as pants for probably 4 months now. And so my goal now is to try and get them done before Christmas Eve. We'll see how that works. I don't have very many days left. We'll see. I just really want them to be pants, and either way I'm going to make them. So stay tuned for that in the next video as I make some Darcy pants and another tasty treat for you to enjoy. It will be, I don't know yet. I have to look. There's these, I do know what it's going to be. So I'm actually going to make what's on the cover of the Bakerita cookbook for Christmas. Let me get that for you so that you can see. You'll be able to visualize what I'm making next time and what I'm baking next time. Let me show you. This is what I'm going to be making for Christmas. So on Christmas Eve, I need to bring a dessert to my mom's. And on Christmas Day, I need to bring, yarn fuzzies. I need to bring a dessert and a side veggie of sorts to Cameron's parents. So Cameron's parents are gonna have 11 people over there. My family, I think, is gonna have a 10-ish. So I'm probably gonna make like 4 of these, I'm not gonna lie. And so this is hazelnut, chocolate, strawberries, everything that's good in the world. That'll be our next recipe. This will be our next sew, and I will see you all then. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share. I appreciate all of the love that I've been getting lately. I promise you have no idea how much that means to me. I put a lot of work into these videos and just want to share a little sprinkle of happiness for your day. So I hope that I am giving that to you, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful holiday if I don't see you before then, and I will see you all right before the new year. All right, bye.